Hey y'all. So I'm shooting this video today for the very same reason that I shot my initial video, and that's because I saw some blanketed statements being made on Facebook, and it allowed me the opportunity to see where I needed to get the true message out there. And if you watched my first video, you know that I said that blanketed statements can be dangerous to people who really need insurance because it may deter them because they, read or hear the opinions of someone else. And though I believe that that's true, what I'm also finding is that the blanketed statements allow myself and other agents to see where we need to get the true message out here. So it kind of allows us to know where we need to go harder in terms of educating people and how insurance works. And it's actually giving me topics to discuss on the channel. Each time I think I have a topic planned, a conversation happens, or someone may ask me something, or I may read something on social media and I feel like I want to, I need to address that in my next video. So today's topic is about, can felons, and I don't want to say felons, I want to say people with felony convictions, and people may say that's the same thing, but I look at it a little differently. So can people with felony convictions or someone who's on parole or probation get life insurance? Now, the life insurance industry, just like any other industry, evolves over the years. At one point, there was absolutely no way if you were on parole or probation you could get insurance. That is not entirely the case right now. So if you are currently anyone who's incarcerated, you are not permitted to get life insurance on a person who is incarcerated. And if there is a company out there who is willing to write a policy for someone who is currently incarcerated, I have not ran across that company yet. And like I said, I do research. I'm always researching to find companies who will pretty much cover any kind of circumstance, and I have not. I don't think that there's a company out there that will do that. However, there are companies that if you are on parole or probation, you can get life insurance. There are also companies that don't even ask the question about parole and probation. And now there was a statement made that if you're on parole and probation, you can't get life insurance, which is true for many companies, but not all. And again, some things vary from state to state. And the statement was also made when I made the correction and let them know that it wasn't entirely true. Some companies will insure you if you're on probation or parole. They said, well, if the company finds out, then they won't pay the death claim, which again is not true. A company cannot force a denied claim. So it's really no different than how medical questions work. You have some companies that may ask a long list of medical questions. You have some companies who only ask a few medical questions. So let's just say you have a company that has a list of medical questions, and you have a particular ailment that is not listed on this application. And those are the only medical questions they ask. If they let's just say they ask 4 medical questions, and the medical questions that they ask, none of those pertain to you. You have none of the ailments listed. If you do not say that you have a particular ailment, if they did not ask specifically about that ailment, you're not in violation of the application. You answered what was asked of you. Now, there are some companies who will list particular ailments, and then after because companies can't think of everything. They can't think of every single ailment on the book. However, you have some companies who will ask, after they list the different medical conditions, they will say, are there any other conditions that you've been diagnosed with, suffer with, whatever the language is, that we should know about, or you think would have a bearing on the approval of this application. That's not the exact wording that they use, but there is a question that some companies put on an application that allows you to offer up any additional information that they did not cover when they asked the questions. Now, in that case, if you know that you have something that will probably result in a denial or probably result in you paying a higher rate, that is when you should disclose that, because they have that question there. Not all companies have that question. So if you're filling out an application, if you're applying for life insurance and you're on parole and probation and it does not ask any questions about your criminal history, or it doesn't specifically ask about parole and probation, or if it does not say, do you have any criminal, if it doesn't ask anything about criminal history, and it doesn't ask you, doesn't have a question that allows you to volunteer that information, you cannot be penalized for not saying something that was not asked of you. So they can't force, it would be a complete violation on a company's behalf for you to pass away, and because they failed to ask if you were on parole and probation and you did not offer the information up because there was nothing that indicated that you should offer it up, and you pass away and they find out that you were on parole and probation, they would be in violation to not pay that death claim, because it's not common knowledge. Most people don't just walk around with the knowledge that parole and probation is possibly something that could deny you for life insurance. I didn't know that before I got into the industry. So it's not something that people would think to volunteer. So the company can't hold that against you because you didn't volunteer the information if you were not asked. They can't force a denied death claim. Now, let's move on to the felony portion of it. Again, not all companies work the same way. It's not a one size fit all. In many cases, many companies won't cover people who have felony convictions. However, certain things apply in that case as well. It depends on the length of time it's been since you got the felony conviction. It depends upon the type of felony conviction you have. They take different things into consideration. It's not just because you have a felony conviction, you're definitely going to be denied for coverage. It's on a case-by-case basis. They do their due diligence. They look into things. And like I said, each company works different. There are some companies that don't even ask if you have a felony conviction. And again, it's a state-by-state thing as well. So I just ask that if you hear something in passing as it pertains to life insurance, if you read something online that pertains to life insurance, especially if it's something that may deter you from getting it when you know that you need it, before you let that make your mind up for you, and especially if it's not something that's being posted by an insurance professional, get with an insurance professional and ask them to clarify for you. I'm always available to clarify things for you. And I forgot to start with the reason why parole and probation are sometimes a denial. Because technically, like I said, you can't insure someone who's currently incarcerated. And when you're on parole and probation, you're considered to be technically still under the Department of Corrections. So that's like one of those gray areas. Although you are out, you're not actually physically in jail, it's looked at like you're kind of still an inmate. So that's why some companies will not do it. And again, when it comes to the felony convictions, it depends on the length of time since your conviction. It depends on the type of conviction. Now, I'm sure there are some companies out there that it's just going to be a flat, you can't get coverage with them, just a flat denial, no matter what the circumstances were, just because you have the felony convictions. But there are so many different companies out here now. The life insurance agency has evolved. Many years ago, it may have just been a flat no for anyone on probation and parole, anyone with a felony conviction, but things change all the time. And again, the company cannot put you in a situation where it's basically entrapment. They're vague on their application and then hold you liable for something that you did not know to tell them. And the insurance industry is very regulated. There are laws, there's legislation. The companies can't just be out here doing anything. So again, I don't intend for this to be a long video. I'm sitting here parked waiting for a client. I just wanted to clear that up. So like I said, although the blanketed statements are harmful, they do also help agents know what kind of knowledge we need to spread. So if you hear anything, if you read anything, if you have any questions that you would like clarity on, shoot me a message, inbox me on social media. If it's a topic that you would like me to cover, just let me know. And I'm going to get ready to end this. And I can't think of a weird fact about me today, which probably in and of itself is a weird fact, because I'm sure I know that there are a lot of weird things about me that I can share, but I can't think of any at the moment. And the song that's currently playing in my head I think it's called Ain't It Funny by J-Lo. And I blame this song has been playing in my head for about a week now. I blame it on a friend of mine. She posted a Facebook status about J-Lo, and J-Lo's songs have been playing ever since. So I'm going to end this because I have to run in to see a client. But I had a few spare moments while I'm sitting here in the car, and I wanted to clear up the probation, felony conviction, and parole topic. And I hope I was clear. If you're not more clear on the topic than you were before, if you have any questions, just let me know, and I'll be glad to have a conversation with you about it. Okay, bye.